Hey kiddos, this is the literary lexicon. In the second part of your freshman year, you guys will be doing what's called a Shakespeare sampler, although I changed mine to called the literary lexicon. We are going to collect various literary terms and how they're used in a variety of different ways in a variety of different samples of literature. This is the handout that you're going to have. It says literary lexicon. I've done one of the definitions for you, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that every time we get a new literary term, that you fill out this information right here. So you want to put the term, the definition, the literary example, which will usually be the thing that we are reading currently, and the explanation. So for example, we've got setting, which we've covered as far as the sniper is concerned. The definition is the time and place where a story happens, provides the backdrop for the story, and can create mood. Can also include things like social status, weather, historical period, and details about immediate surroundings. The literary example that I used with a quote was "The June twilight faded into night. Dublin lay enveloped in darkness." Page 1, paragraph 1, The Sniper by Liam O'Flaherty. So it tells us the quote, the page and paragraph number, and then it tells us the author, and then, or the title, and then the author. Then it explains how that is an example of setting. The selection tells us that it is not quite dark out and it's about to be night, but the use of the word twilight, as well as telling us it takes place in summer, specifically June, and it takes place in Dublin, Ireland. So that's just for one literary term. You are going to want to do this for every single literary term because we are going to add 2 more things to it as we go along through the semester, and you're going to have to do this for at least 40 terms. So if you're doing them as we go, it'll be a lot easier than when you do it later and you have to do it all by itself. Okay? So that's how to fill out the literary lexicon. Now, the other thing with that is you can get all of that information from this PowerPoint. And this PowerPoint, as you can see, says the literary lexicon terms. And we start off with inference. We know about inference because inferencing is something that we've been working on. So you're going to write down the definition, this, and we're going to, which is what we already know from experience mixed with new information. So then you can write down your own examples. The next is this plot diagram, and I'm going to go into more detail about that in a separate video. We've talked about setting, conflict, climax, resolution, protagonist, theme, tone, and that's it for now. But I'm going to make a separate video that actually talks about each one of these individually, so you can go ahead and watch those videos if you want me to explain them better, or you can just record the tone, well, not the tone, but the definition and the word, and write it down in your example of your literary lexicon. So if you're going to do this particular one, you would actually write down tone into your literary lexicon. You would write the definition that I have there, a literary example, an exact explanation about how that is indeed an example of that term. Okay? So that's how to do the literary lexicon.